Namaste, children. We are going to start a new chapter, that is reaching the age of adolescence. So, before starting this chapter, let us try to understand what we learned in our lower classes. So, in our earlier classes, you learned different organ systems that are present in our body, that is the digestive system, respiratory system, circulatory system, and even excretory system. So, for the proper functioning of all these systems, there must be a perfect coordination should be there in these systems so that you can lead a healthy life. Okay, some of the processes like your respiration, digestion, excretion, all these some of the fast processes that are always and always under the control of nerves. Yes, means a very specialized system, that is a nervous system. It is playing a vital role in controlling these or in coordinating all these type of metabolic activities. Whereas in human beings, in a living organism, if you will observe, uh, the basic characteristic of living organisms, that is growth, development, and even development for reproduction are these are some of the basic characters that are even exhibited by the living organism, which are very slow processes. So now these slow processes must occur, and these slow processes are under the control of a very specialized system, which we are saying as a endocrine system or hormonal system. Okay, so in our body we are having some of the fast changes, fast metabolic activities like your digestion, respiration, circulation. These are all under the control of nerves, which is one coordination system present in our body, which is giving a fast responses. And there are some other body functions like growth, development, and reproduction. These are the slow processes which are also under the control of another specialized coordination system that we are saying as a endocrine system or hormonal system. So today we are going to learn about this endocrine system and how the hormones are making or developing us to enter in the age of adolescence, and they are developing our reproductive system, and what all the changes that are occurring during this development, that we are going to learn in this lesson, that is reaching the age of adolescence. Okay, so generally in our body, if you will see, we are having two glands. One such glands, we are saying them as an exocrine glands. Another glands, we are saying them as an endocrine glands. These are the two different glandular structures that are present in our body. One is your exocrine glands, and the second one is endocrine glands. So exocrine glands means they are having a duct-like structure, like you are able to see. A sac-like structure is present. Now they will secrete all their secretions into this bag-like structure. Now whenever any substance it is acting into this sac-like structure, they will digest them. Like in your salivary glands, those are one of the best examples of your exocrine system. Whenever you are eating the food, keeping it in your buccal cavity region or oral cavity region, that time saliva it starts oozing out into the oral cavity and you can digest the food. So exocrine glands are those glands which are called duct glands, ducted glands, where a sac-like structure or a duct it is present, into which now the secretions will be stored. But another glandular structures that are present in our body, that we are calling as an endocrine glands. So these endocrine glands, they are not having any ducts. So we are saying them as a ductless glands. Now these ductless glands, they are directly secreting their secretions that into the bloodstream, and the secretions of these endocrine glands, we are calling them as a hormones. The secretions of endocrine glands, what we are calling them as a hormones, which are directly released into the bloodstream. So now these hormones, which are directly present in the bloodstream, they will travel along with the blood, and they will act on one specific region, which we are saying as a target tissue. So hormones are one such coordinating parts in our body which are regulating the growth in our body. They are developing the body. They are even preparing us for the reproduction purpose. So all these changes, which are very slow processes that are controlled by the hormones, which are secreted from a specialized glandular structures called endocrine glands. So if you will see, there are different type of endocrine glands that are located in our body at different regions. Like in the brain region, if you will see, a pituitary gland is present. In our throat neck region, if you will see, thyroid gland is present. On the top of the kidneys, your adrenal glands are present, and even exactly below the stomach, your pancreas is present, and the testes in males and the ovaries in females are also acting as an endocrine glands. So different endocrine glands that are located at different regions of the body, which are helpful in the secretion of hormones, which is playing a vital role in the growth development of our bodies. So what exactly an adolescence age is? So adolescence means it is an age where a person is reaching to a stage called becoming adult. Yes, generally this adolescence age, it starts or lies between 11 to 19 years. So a person, when he is entering into the age of adolescence at 11 years, and from 11 to 19 years, his development growth occurs perfectly and becomes a adult. Okay, so during this adolescence age, we'll observe that body will undergo number of changes that are leading to the reproductive maturity. So such a reproductive maturity with the bodily changes is called your adolescence. And the persons who are under this adolescence age are called as adolescents, or we in general terms calling them as a teenagers. Okay, so during this puberty, the adolescent's body, which is undergoing several changes, that is becoming or making the person capable for reproduction. So as all these changes are making a person from a childhood condition to adolescence or becoming adult case, it's called your puberty. So during this condition, we'll observe n number of bodily changes. That may be an external bodily change or an internal development in the body. So changes like your increasing in height, change in the body shape. In case of males it is different and females it is different. Change in the voice, increased activity of sweat and sebaceous glands, that is your oil glands, development of the sex organs. Along with all these changes, reaching at a stage of mental, intellectual and emotional maturity, these are all the things that we'll observe in this particular stage of 11 to 19 years. So all these changes are due to the hormonal secretions, your body is exposing to the hormones firstly. So all these changes that are happening in our body, so having a mental, intellectual and an emotional control during this puberty stage is one of the good characteristic that makes our life in a disciplined proper manner. So what all these changes, let us try to understand. So the first and foremost change, we are saying it as a increasing in height. So during this puberty condition, if you will observe, yes, suddenly you will find that your height is increased. That is because of a specialized hormone. It's called growth hormone, that is secreted from the pituitary gland, which is located at the brain region. So your growth is increased because of the growth in the bones, bones of your legs and arm regions. Yes. So in this puberty condition, if you will observe clearly, in case of girls, during the starting stages of adolescence, they will increase, their height will increase very fastly. But in case of males, if you will observe, when they are entering at the age of, at the end of 19, that is during puberty stage, at the end of the puberty stage, at last boys will reach the maximum height comparatively to the girls. Try to understand that the growth hormone which is acting on the bones of your legs and arms is one of the reason for increasing in height. The initial stages of adolescence, we'll see that girls are growing fastly, but at last when you will notice after the puberty stage, the maximum height is always acquired by the boys. Yes, so now similarly, one more thing that is playing a role in the increasing height, that is your inherited characters that are coming from the parents. Because this is controlled by the genes, so the genes that are inherited transferred from parents to us is also one of the main factor to increase the bodily height. So during these stages, when you are in the puberty stage and the height increment is happening, it's highly important to eat a nutritious food so that your bones will increase in height. At the same time, the bones and muscles will develop and they will get strengthened so that other parts of the body will also become strengthened. So now the second change that we'll observe during adolescence, that is change in the body shape. So due to exposure to the different hormones or secretion of different hormones, we'll see a change in the bodily shape of ours, where the boy's body and the girl's body, males and females, they will exhibit different type of bodily changes. So in case of males, if you will see, they have a broad shoulders and a wider chest that is observed in them. And in case of females, if you will see, the part that is below the waist region, it will become broader. And even in case of girls, enlargement of mammary glands that we will notice. And one more important thing that we will notice is the muscular development in boys will be more prominent than in girls. Strong muscles or muscular strength will become very good in boys comparatively to the girls. Now, another change that we'll observe during adolescence, that is your voice change. So, voice is produced from the voice box, that is your larynx. So, in case of boys, if you will observe, we'll notice a very deep and harsh voice, whereas in case of girls, we'll observe that a very small but a high pitched voice. So, why the voice in males it becomes very harsh and a deep voice? Because now the larynx that is present immediately below the trachea, the last three muscles of this larynx, during the age of adolescence, the muscles they will get swollen up and shows a very sharp pointed structure that is called your Adam's apple. So due to the formation of Adam's apple only in the males, remember this is seen only in the males. So due to the formation of Adam's apple, the boy's voice becomes very deep and harsh. So now another important thing that we are going to notice during the age of adolescence, that is your increased activity of sweat and sebaceous glands. Especially this is seen on the face region a lot where blood circulation is more. Yes, the sweat and sebaceous glands are actively participating in increasing the secretions in a higher quantity, due to which the teenagers they will get acne, pimples on their faces. So to reduce all these problems, we have to keep our face clean by washing it repeatedly. So this is because of the exposing to different hormones, newly hormones in our body. The action of these sweat and sebaceous glands will become more active during this age. So which if you are not cleaning your face properly, then it leads to the formation of acne and pimples on your face. So it's very highly important to wash your face repeatedly during this increased activity of sweat and sebaceous glands. So now the important one more thing, that is sex organs are your reproductive organs, because the adolescence age itself is saying that along with the growth and development they are even developing the reproductive organs. So the reproductive organs in case of males it's called your testis. In case of females, we are calling it as an ovary. So, development of these reproductive organs to produce the gametes is one more important factor that is happening in the adolescence or a puberty stage. So, males from the testes they are producing the male gametes called sperm cells. They can produce sperm cells even more than the girls. In case of ovaries, females having the reproductive organs, that is ovaries, and they are producing the gametes, that is your ova or an egg, and this ovum it is released once in every 28 days. So this once in every 28 days release of ova, it's called as your menstrual cycle. In our further classes we are going to learn even this menstrual cycle. So now here if you will observe, the gametic production in males is prolonged comparatively in the females. Females at the age of 45 to 50 years, the production of egg stops. But whereas in case of males, even after the age of 60 years also they are able to produce the sperm cells. And the most important thing in this age of adolescence, which everyone should have, that is having a self-control on the emotional development that is taking place. And here we will try to become more independent. Till that time we are depending on our parents for each and everything, but here we'll try to do all our works by our own. That's your becoming more independent and having a self conscious what we are doing. And important thing that the way of thinking during this adolescence is varied from one to another person. So, having an emotional development or emotional balance, it is very much important, because we'll start becoming more independent, self-conscious, and the thinking processes are getting changed. So, having the mental, intellectual, emotional maturity is one of the most important factor in this age of adolescence. So, in our next class, let us see the development of reproductive organs and the various endocrine glands that are located in our body and the type of hormones that are secreted from them. Okay, children, thank you so much.